Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of the School of Thought podcast. Today, I am very gracious to have a beautiful heart of our guest today, Dr. Jaron Barnes. Uh, this particular session means a lot to me because my father was a veteran. So, he is the CEO of Metro Rollin, a vet for veteran by veteran, co-owner of JMT International, chairman of Ethic Committee of Harvest Christian University. Dr. Jaron Barnes is the CEO and the founder. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated in helping veterans regain their place in society based on New Orleans, Louisiana. His organization also strives to secure housing and providing job training opportunity to help veterans regain or their civil life after uh, being in the service. In addition of his work with Metro Rollin, Dr. Barnes is a co-owner of JMT International, which is a professional cleaning and consulting company. His entrepreneurship spirit and board experience spans several industries, including law enforcement, education, and crisis management. That is absolutely necessary. Dr. Bond also served as a chairman of Ethic Committee of Harvest Christian University in Dallas, Texas. As a board certified mental health coach, he is deeply committed to the mental well-being of individuals, particularly those facing crisis situations. So you and I connect in that area. Married to Teresa Barnes, Dr. Barnes combined his background in law enforcement, education, and crisis management with his profession for service to improve the lives of veterans and broad community. Now, I want to introduce you and allow him to finish the rest of what he does and who he is. And I welcome you. Please help me welcome Dr. Jaron Barnes. Welcome, sir.
Bless you, Doctor. Thank you all for the beautiful welcoming introduction. It's an honor to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. My first question to you, sir. As I said, I'm so connected with what you do because I watched my father, even though he was a veteran from another country, but he still served his country with all of his heart. And sometimes when I listened to my father speak of his country, you could hear the passion. And I was young, and I could still hear the passion that my father had for his country. And I watched the level of a veteran that he was. I watched the level of his, what do you call that? That he was, I believe, a colonel. And I remember walking down the street, they used to salute him just walking down the street. I remember that. And then after the effect, after what's all over, I also watched my father mind decline. And so I could understand the stress of a veteran coming back to civilization after you've been trained to combat and then have to come back and live again. So it's something that I lived and grew up with. But what I do appreciate about that experience is what my father taught me about discipline and honor and passion. So I relate to that a lot. So I want to ask you, what inspired you to get involved in homeless veteran?
Actually, funny enough, I'm a veteran. I've never been homeless. I've never lived on the street. I've always been blessed and fortunate enough to operate in a spirit of entrepreneurship and being able to find jobs. But being a veteran for over 20 years, I've met with veterans at the VA hospital or in different engagements, and I've seen guys on the street begging for money. And it always bothered me that somebody who served their country, somebody who went through the experiences of war or combat will come back to a country that did not provide them the resources that they need. And I've always been taught that if you have a problem with something and you don't see a solution, it's because you are the solution. So
Wow.
it became my passion and my mission to be the solution, to find ways to get these guys off the street, to find ways to get these guys who were arrested or coming out of jail as veterans to rehab them and get them into a place where they had the resources and the foundation that they needed to resume civilian life. we've never seen families, entire families, father, mother, and children on the street who have DD 214s or who have possible checks for pension or retirement waiting for them, but without the proper identification to get registered or the proper resources to even let you know, hey, we're out here and we need help, other than holding up signs saying, I'm a veteran and can you spare 50 cents or can you spare $1? So it's my passion to stop recidivism of homelessness, to stop recidivism of incarceration, and to change the social economic understanding of people who serve the country and now need the country to service them.
Exactly. I relate to that so much, what you said, that what you angry and passionate about actually because the solution is boiling up inside of you. So that is very, very good. We always look for the answer for somebody. Why y'all don't do this? Why you? But actually the answer is you. So thank you so much. I want you to explain and give us clarity. What is Metro Rollin for veteran by veteran? Give us clarity about it.
Metro Rollin for veterans by veterans actually started out of, I was actually looking to open a new company. I like the term Metro Rollin because New Orleans is a metropolitan area. We deal with multiple cities that people commonly refer to as New Orleans, whether it's Metairie, Gretna, Kenner, Harvey, Harrowhead, whatever. When people look at the metropolitan area, they kind of group that all together into one city, New Orleans. So I wanted a company that was actually, in the beginning, we were going to be an NEMC, a non-emergency medical transport company, focusing on veterans. But as we looked at formally NEMC, we realized the limitations of what we could do. However, as a nonprofit that looked to not only help veterans, but to offer employment, to offer job opportunities, to help with homelessness, to help with education, to help with all of these other tools and resources that these guys didn't have, it kind of formed itself into something that we hadn't originally intended to be. Now we focus on just being able to help these guys. We're not worried about making money. Of course, we need funding, we need grants, we need donations, but the focus is now on what we can do for others as opposed to what we can do and build for ourselves.
Exactly. And it really doesn't encourage people to even go into the service because they know once you come out, you're not going to be taken care of. You're not going to be to be guided properly.
It is so hard and so difficult to navigate through the VA system. It starts by registering yourself, but if you're living on the street, there's actually no way to register because the entire process is now online. I don't see people rolling around with laptops saying, hey, are you a veteran? Let me help you get started. That's actually one of my passions, and one of our goals is to get a van that we can put 10 to 20 laptops in with the wireless router and drive around and get these guys registered as we go through our feeding program or our clothing program. It's an opportunity to capture these guys and say, hey, do you need help registering? Do you need to get an ID? Well, we need to get you into a place where you have an address so you can get an ID. Can you drive? Well, we can help you get your driver's license. But the first thing first is we need to get you off the street in order to be able to help you get into these programs. The VA has housing programs. HUD has housing programs for veterans. But again, in order to be registered and identified, we have to get you into a place where you can at least get registered. So that's one of the goals of Metro, is to help these guys get registered and to get to a place where they can receive what they need.
Okay. So with that, would you consider that as your main focus of Metro Rollin, or is there a main now focus that you focus on?
Our main focus right now is dealing with homelessness. But when you deal with homelessness, you get into somewhat of a spider web of issues that we have to resolve. New Orleans has recently gone through a shakeup in the homeless community because of our current governor, because the Super Bowl is coming here, because we've had these major events. Homeless encampments have been cleared out and moved, and people have lost documents. People have lost their IDs, social security cards, and information. People have lost their DD 214 because their property was trashed and they were moved into shelters.
Mm.
So if I find a list of veterans that are homeless, the first thing I need to do is help you get identified and who you are and where you belong. Uh,
And it's
so
so funny when you said that. That's one those two things that a veteran need when they're purchasing a home is the DD 214 and the certificate of eligibility. And the veteran loans are actually 100%. They don't need anything down. It's 0% down. So some of them coming from homeless, you helping them getting out and getting a job, they could actually purchase a home.
yes, ma'am.
You know,
That's amazing. When you look at a veteran and you look at their rating, right? The VA has a rating system between 0% and 100%, and based on your service-related injuries or service-related conditions, you qualify for some percentage within that. I think right now, veterans that are rated at 100% can get up to $3,200 a month.
wow.
That is a life-changing development for somebody who's been living on the street to now have this amount of money. I can afford a house with 3,200 a month. I
Yes,
can afford to get my family into a better situation or to do
yeah,
something that benefits the community. So
exactly.
um,
Exactly.
we're
Yeah.
passionate about this. This is our dream. This is our goal. This is our mission, our passion. This is our purpose.
Yeah. And it's almost like you have money in the bank, a treasure sitting there, but no one to direct you how to go get it. And that's what I'm seeing that you are doing. You literally directing them to go get what belongs to them and what's available for them.
Yes, ma'am. Now, I
This
will
is
say I am not a veterans benefit officer, so I can't help you get your benefits. But what Metro Rollin does is we've partnered with organizations and we've partnered with companies, including the VA, to help get these guys where they need to go. So you can consider me to be your service center. I'm going to point you in the direction of what you need, but I'm not just going to hand you over to somebody else. I'm going to walk you hand by hand
I like that.
um, until you get to where you need to be. That's why we call it Metro Rolling. We are moving you from where you are to where you need to be.
To me. I like that. I love that concept. So what would an organization can they do in helping veterans? How can they do in helping veterans? Any
Well,
organization?
the first thing first is you have to have a passion for veterans. Once you get into dealing with veterans, you're dealing with people who could have possible mental scarring or mental illness. You're dealing with people who have been preconditioned to not share, people who may not want to be back in the system or may not want to be identified. So you have to have a passion to go at this and to, I guess, change the, once again, to use this word, change the social economic understanding of the people that you're dealing with. These are people who have been conditioned, they've been trained, they're disciplined, uh, they're survivors,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
they may not be in the best condition for surviving. New Orleans just had a freeze, an unprecedented freeze. We've had up to 18 inches of snow that remained on the road for 2 or 3 days. Freezing conditions for somebody who's living on the street, who has pride because they've served and because they've done this before. It's not easy for them to accept help. We have to get them to a point where they understand we're not helping you to get government assistance. We're helping you to get what you deserve, what you earned, what you fought for, what you served for. This is your right. This is your God-given, constitutionally provided right to have these resources. And we just want to help you get there. We're not asking anything in return. We're not asking for you to publicize our company. We're not asking you to wear our T-shirt. We don't want any branding from you. We simply want to help you get off the street and do better for yourself and for your family.
I love that. And basically, as you were talking, that people don't understand that as a veteran, you are when you go in, your mind is the condition one way for you to serve. But the thing is, a lot of us don't realize that we need to help their mind to recondition them back into society because they assume once they come out, they could do that themselves. But when they got in, they helped them condition their mind. So the
Yes, ma'am.
same way we have to help them recondition back to society. And we seem to forget that. We assume that they're just gonna come back and just no, we have to be able to help them. And you're right. I want the veteran to know this is what you have earned. It's not some nobody's giving you a handout. You earned your right to get the things that is available for you. You have already paid the price for that. So that was awesome. Awesome. Why is another question? Why is housing such a significant challenge for veteran? Doesn't the military help veteran?
Yes and no. I'll say this, and this is from past experience, my own past experience. When you go through the vetting system for your benefits, the goal of the vetting officer is to disprove your claim, to make sure that you're not claiming something that is not true or not accurate. So it becomes your burden to prove that you deserve this. They're not going to give you the opportunity to say, okay, I served in Desert Storm or Desert Shield, or I served in Korea or Vietnam. And just because I served and I came out with these issues, it's the military's fault. Their goal is to disprove that you had this condition prior existing, or you developed this condition after you served, or this is not our fault. So our goal is to help get you with the right people, whether it's a veteran service officer working on your behalf to help get you to the right place, or it's working with the DAV, the Disabled American Veterans Organization, that can help solidify your claim and to help present your claim to the VA on your behalf, or one of the hundreds of thousands of agencies that are out there that simply want to help you move your claim the way it needs to be. This is something that I would not recommend the veteran do on their own unless you have some experience with the legal system, some existence in dealing specifically with the VA and with their judges or their rules, some experience dealing with law. If you don't have experience, I recommend you work with us and we can help you get to the right persons that can solidify your claim and help present it the way that it needs to be presented.
So what I'm hearing is you become an advocate for the veteran because the system is set to say no so they could pay less money. So you need an advocate like anybody would need an attorney in the courtroom to know the proper language and the proper way to get the system to give them what they deserve. Because otherwise they're going to believe what the system say. No, you don't need that. No, it's not our fault. No, you got this condition after. So an advocate who knows the system needs to come in and work for you or speak in your behalf because they know what language to use to make sure that you are given what you deserve. Is that properly put together?
Yes, ma'am. That's beautifully stated.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. And I thank you for doing that. Okay, one more question. How does employment and the ability to obtain legal identification, ID, after homeless among veteran? Does Metro Rollin help veteran obtain job training and ID, and how?
We are in the process of working with the New Orleans Job Corps to solidify specialized training. I think Delgado Community College has specialized training for veterans. But the problem is, again, if you're not in the system and they don't know that you're out there, how can you get this training? If you don't have identification and the proper tools to prove that you deserve this training, how can you get it? If you're homeless, you're living on the street, which means you may not have changes of clothes, you may not have bathed in a while, you don't have a fresh haircut or look clean cut, you may not be allowed to enter places like the public library that gives free computer access, or places where you can get help just based on your living conditions. So our goal is to help you get to where you need to be, ground one, at the base level. We want to identify what is the immediate need, and then once we facilitate the immediate need, help you get to steps 2, 3, 4, and 5 until you get to the place where you need to be. I'll say that job training is important, especially for veterans. If you if you were trained to be a grunt or just a tactical officer, you may not have the mental capacity coming out of the service to become a police officer or a sheriff's deputy or work in security. Just based off of PTSD, we may not want to put you in that high stress or high tension situation.
That's
If
right.
we can get you into a training program to help you utilize the discipline that you learned in the military and some of those additional skills, we may be able to find you a better job, better placement, making better income that ensures that not only can we get you into a property, but we can help you maintain the funding to stay there.
And to make sure you get a stress-free job a little bit, not as stressful as you were in the service.
Yes, ma'am.
What is Metro Rollin's solution for preventing homeless among veterans?
We want to capture veterans either as soon as they get out or once they get to a place where they actually identify that they need help. Uh, we're putting things out there, whether it's working with, there's a group called Bastion here in New Orleans. They're putting on events for the Super Bowl dedicated specifically for veterans. I think the week of the Super Bowl, there are about 5 or 6 different events. We want to be at those events. In fact, I'm going to have my van out there picking up veterans off the street to bring them to these events just so they can be around other veterans and other people who've been in similar situations that have found the right solution to kind of encourage them to break out of their shell and see that, okay, this may not be as bad as I thought it would be, or these are people who genuinely have interest in me and genuinely want to help. I don't just want to get you into a system so I can, put you on a census, or, I can get you employed so I can get the tax benefits, which there are tax benefits for hiring veterans. But I actually want to help you. I really want to get you to a point where you're helping yourself and you're not depending on the government, or you're not depending on, any other means. You are actually helping yourself, and now you're a contributing member of society once again.
Exactly. Wonderful, wonderful. I love it. What specific role do you believe the community, local, state, and federal government plays in solving this issue faced by veterans?
Well, personally, I don't think we actually spend enough money on reaching our veterans. We may do advertisement here or there. You hear about insurance programs that exploit veterans, right? They offer certain incentive rates to veterans if you serve at this level, or you do this, or you do that. But there are very few organizations that actually advertise, "I'm here for you." The DAV does a great job of working with veterans and helping you to get where you need to be, but they're so closely tied to the VA that a lot of veterans, especially veterans living on the street, or veterans who are not uh, active in their communities, may not want to initially get involved with the government agency. They may feel comfortable working with somebody who has the training in mental health awareness, or somebody who just offers the services on the veterans' behalf. They may feel more comfortable working with you and you presenting them to the government as opposed to going to the government directly. There are a lot of veterans that I found that they have mixed feelings about government. They served with pride, but because they were dealt with such harsh conditions coming back to society, they're afraid of dealing with the state. They're afraid of dealing with local government. They're afraid of dealing with the federal government. And they need somebody to kind of hold their hand and to help them understand it's not as bad as you think it is. I believe everybody who deals in veteran services, at no matter what degree and no matter what point, needs to have some training in mental health awareness, because you may be dealing with the underlying situation or underlying cause that you don't see. The average person dealing with the veteran may see somebody who has a bad temper, or somebody who, as the kids would say, clicks and goes off on the deep end when something happens. Somebody who can't handle 4th of July, or New Year's Eve, because the fireworks reminds them of being in the field. You don't know what these guys have experienced and what they've dealt with. So it's up to the community to identify who they are, and then it's up to us to help them to get the tools and the resources that they need.
That so many things is going through my mind as you speak. It's just, oh my God. I am so glad that you have this passion because it is so needed. So needed. I want to ask you, what does the audience can do to support Metro Rollin?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you correctly.
And what can this audience that's listening to us now can do to support Metro Rollin?
Well, we are a 501c3 organization. We don't ask for money, but if you choose to make a donation, donations are extremely accepted. We also ask that when you see Metro Rollin or you see similar organizations putting on events to help veterans or help just in general homelessness, assist, volunteer, help out, show out, do something to benefit the organizations, do something to help our target audience. When I advertise, I'm not advertising to you just to ask for help. I'm advertising to you to say, okay, let me come aboard and do what I need to do or do what I can. When you see a veteran on the street, help them. Do something. If you don't want to give them money because you don't believe in, giving homeless money, you don't want to encourage that behavior, buy them something to eat. If it's cold outside, buy them a cup of coffee. Do something to help your fellow man. The Bible teaches us, and Jesus taught that the greatest gift is love. The scriptures talk about compassion, and showing that we need to show compassion to our fellow man. The greatest commandment after loving God was to love your neighbor as yourself.
That's true.
Do something that benefits somebody else. Pay it forward. I've been blessed. I've been extremely blessed in my life to have a career in IT that spanned over, actually, not sharing my age, but over 30 years working in IT. I spent almost 10 years working in law enforcement. I've been dual employed at sometimes. I've been self-deployed at sometimes, but I've always had the ability to at least make enough money to take care of my family. So it behooves me as somebody who has benefited from the system, somebody who has benefited from being in a position where my tax bracket was at a certain level, to come back and say, okay, if you're not where I am, what can I do to help raise you up and to help you get to a point where you're standing on your own and you're not depending on somebody for help, but you're able to help somebody else. One of our charges when we help veterans, if I get you to a place where you're now in a property, you're now in a house, whether you're renting, living on a voucher, or you're buying, is to say, okay, now you have to go back and pick somebody else up and do the same thing I did for you to them. Whether it's you taking them by the hand and we're training you to be a caseworker, or you bringing them to the organization and saying, okay, this is my brother. He lived on the street with me, or he's in a similar position. What can you do to help him too?
You know what I love about what you said, even asking the audience and the community for help. And what you said to me carry volume because you said, okay, even if you don't give to our organization, but actually my passion is for veteran. So it shows that your passion for veteran outweigh the passion for your organization, which tells me that's the real passion. It's not the organization of what you're doing, but the passion for veteran. But what I would add to what you said, if you are a veteran yourself, and or maybe you have a loved one, whether it's a child or husband or wife, any loved one that's a veteran, and you can be involved in honoring their name and honoring the service that they have done. And so by getting involved, let's say with Metro Rollin, that you could get involved with an organization, not only at passion, but integrity, that you know your money is not going to be wasted. And since it's a 501c3 organization, you can use that in your tax credit. But to me, this is an opportunity to honor, like I want to honor my father by partnering with you in helping veteran, is honoring my dad. So I will encourage people to do that in honor, whether your son, your daughter, husband, wife, whatever family member, or even if you are a veteran yourself. And just like Dr. Barnes said, who's been fortunate enough not to be homeless, fortunate enough able to take care of yourself, come back and work with a veteran base to help other veterans that was not as fortunate as you are. So I think that's the foundation, that all the veterans get together and say, listen, I understand where you're coming from. I've been fortunate enough not to be homeless. I've been fortunate enough to be able to come out and turn my life, my mind back into live my civil life. So now I'm going to get and partner with another veteran to help those who's unable to help themselves. So, and I believe it's not just a Marine kind of thing, but I believe it's a veteran, no man left behind.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're not going to leave no man behind. And honoring, and I remember even in ministry in our school, one of the department we had that was covenant partner was formed to base and honor my dad. So we had the Army uniform, we had the salute the soldier. That was the name of the people that became a covenant partner. We called them the soldier, in honoring my dad, because what the main thing that he taught me is discipline and consistency and going for your passion. I've learned all that from my dad. Watch him go for his passion, which was his country. And his goal was to become the president of his own country. That was his goal. And so the passion for the people, he went out and fought because he was watching the people hungry, watching the people being abused. And that really tore my father apart. So when I do for veteran, I'm doing it in the honor of my father. So that's why I will encourage anybody that's listening to us today, that you do that and come and get involved in whatever way you can, whether it's a clothing drive, food drive, whether you just want to send money because you don't have time to work, whatever that is that could help. I will encourage you to honor your loved one by helping this awesome organization, Metro Rollin. I trust Dr. Barnes, and I know him, and I know he's a man of integrity and a man that mean what he said and say what he mean, and helping a veteran. So I will encourage anybody, even I would just want to add that even when I do a veteran loan, a VA loan, what I notice about what the guidelines are, they give you a certain amount of percentage that you're not allowed to go over to charge and overcharge the veteran. And we have to stick to that guideline. So I'm saying that all this stuff that's guideline that's there for you, don't think someone is trying to scam you, someone is trying to take from you. Even the government VA guideline is saying, do not charge this veteran this much. You have a guideline. You have to do whatever you take. This is the space that we give you, the limitation. Do not go over that. So I just want you to feel as a veteran that you are protected, that you have things that you deserve and earn for, and just allow the Metro Rollin organization to assist you to get what you deserve. So I am very happy and very honored to be connected to you, Dr. Barnes, for this work, because this is honorable. This is honorable. And I just want to personally thank you based on School of Thought podcast. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
It has been a pleasure having you. Hope you come back again and at any time. And those of you go on Facebook and go on the website, Metro Rollin for Veteran by Veteran, and connect with them in any type of way, especially on Facebook, Metro Rollin for Veteran by Veteran. Connect, follow them, see what's going on, and see how you could be involved in honoring your loved one or even a friend, honoring a group of people that kept you protected from things you weren't even aware that could have happened, that did not happen because they were in the forefront. And let's honor him, then honor the veteran by connecting. Thank you so much for joining us. You all have an absolutely awesome day. And thank you, Dr. Barnes. And it was such an honor to have you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been a pleasure to be here.
All right. And you could also, Enlighten TV One, you could watch this session all over again, enlightentv1.com, and you can be able to watch and share this with your friends and family. Thank you.